So guys, I'm going to show my side of the family where I can trace back to far, like 4 or 5 generations. Is the Bradley side. This is on my father, paternal side. So here's pictures of them in Alabama. So this is John Allen Bradley, my third great grandfather, and his wife right there, Grandma Florence. I'm gonna take a look at her lineage after, but and there's pics of them. And kind of very old and style pics, but you can still see them very clearly. His mother was a Devereaux, my fourth great grandparent, and her parents, the Devereaux, were it's interesting. They have more information about them. So they have basically sort of his life story. He was born in 1792. He ended up in Georgia. He was born enslaved to a Charles Devereaux. He was a descendant of a captured Belanta from Guinea-Bissau, West Africa. So Guinea-Bissau, I started looking into it in where it was located. Was kind of interesting. So Guinea-Bissau is right under Gambia, near Senegal, and right next to Guinea and Sierra Leone. So right there, it's right there on the coast, which I thought was pretty interesting. And the Belanta tribe is Belanta is an ethnic group that is like near in that area, which is more precise, which I kind of find very interesting. Here's culturally like how they dress and look like, I found on the internet. And I thought it was like really cool because like my family on my dad's side kind of really did resemble this look and build. I can say in my opinion. And with that, they do have pictures. I believe these are the correct pictures of how he looked like, which is really like striking. Very interesting to finally see like who he descended from, which is pretty cool. The haplogroup is EZ6018. I looked into that in this. It's a primarily African haplogroup descending from Pharaoh Ramsey is what I learned. Most people in African communities talk about being Egyptian. I believe that's what they're coming from, is these haplogroups. That is saying, it's coming from Pharaoh Ramsey, which is pretty cool. I do not have this haplogroup because this is my grandmother's dad's lineage, and with that, haplogroups work in a way where is line. So with the Y chromosome with males is passed on male. So since this is her father, my dad didn't get a Y chromosome from his mother. So of course, that's not how that works. So therefore, we don't have this haplogroup as a male coming from this lineage especially because we descend from one of his daughters anyway. So the lineage would work if it was a line of males coming from this lineage of the tree, but it wasn't. It was going down. One of his daughters married a Bradley, down the Bradley lineage, but therefore it's a different haplogroup for her, and for me, for my haplogroup is actually, I believe, a European one from my grandfather's side, which I will do in a later video. His wife, honestly, is interesting too. So they end up in Georgia and the Alabama area, of course. So his wife, Tabby July, they know for a fact she was Yoruba, Nigeria, which is like, I think, majority of a lot of African Americans get, depending on the regions where their family was at, usually get higher percentages of Nigeria or Congo. But for West Africa, they get like a lot, depending of where they're from. It's usually Senegal and possibly Togo, which I have like split even results for Senegal and Togo. So that's coming from another side from what I found. But yeah, she's Nigerian. She was part of the slaves of the Devereaux. It says her parents were passively owned by a William Devereaux, and she had a relationship with one of the Devereaux children because whatchamacallit, some of her children are listed as mulatto and some are not. And it says she was with a Scott Devereaux. They have 15 children. She also had one son with a Charles Hugh Devereaux, which I believe is one of the actual like slave owners. And she had one son from another relationship, which is probably another Devereaux. But I still am reading upon it. But it's kind of cool and interesting that they have like a whole like, which is cool is that they have a whole entire like monument about the Devereaux plantation. And I'm not in Georgia or Alabama or any of those areas. I'm in the Midwest, so I haven't gotten a chance to like visit any of these places that I didn't even know. Like my family came from those areas. I only knew about Louisiana, but it's kind of like very interesting that they have all this info like right here for this set of slave family / owner family. So I can get like a lot of info if I probably look into it a lot more. But I think this is really cool because it has the names I see a lot in my tree and DNA matches. So it's Devereaux, Bradley. I see Freeney. That's a name I see a lot as a DNA matches and how they connect with us. So I think this is like kind of pivotal in African American ancestry digging. Is like if you see surnames, it's kind of like common. It's, since the records are usually like kind of faulty, when I go through DNA matches, I usually check the shared matches and see like which names are kind of lining up and how they are working to become like how they could connect and make a revelation about it. So sometimes like with like missing history, there's a bunch of records that are like, okay, it just stops, but usually for African Americans it stops in like 1830s, and then it doesn't go anywhere farther. So having a connection from 1700s is really quite rare, where you could find an ancestor from like 1790s or 1770s and see, okay, so this is the parent of the 1800 great grandparents we have in our tree. And so it's pretty cool, but also like very hard to find that kind of stuff. And, I just wanted to share that with y'all today on my African lineage. I think they also have pictures so from, I think in someone else's tree there's a picture of Tabby. Let me go check real quick. So yes, believe this is a picture they have of Tabby July. She was really pretty. I believe, I don't know which baby is being held in the picture. I haven't dug that far, but this is one of the pictures they have for her in multiple trees. As you may find when you're also on these ancestry sites, like a lot of the communities, were smaller back then, so a lot of lineage connect. So like you may have like this person info maybe on like 200 to 400 different people's tree, because we all literally descend from small sets of people, and they just had a lot of children back then. So it makes sense. One of their, like, I believe they had like 15 or something children. Each one of them probably, if they were doing the same thing, having 15 children, and it just spreads out. So down the line, you may only match two with only a quarter of them, how DNA works, because it's like a numbers game. Since this is like my fourth or fifth great grandparents, you usually share about like 1% of DNA from anything past like sixth or fifth grade, something like that. I need to know how my words on those numbers. Just varies, and it gets lower by higher up. So you may only match with like a quarter of these people that have them in their tree, while you may have a sibling or an aunt or uncle or even a grandparent that may match with more of the people, because they're, depending on which generation they're coming from, they hold more DNA that's closer to, since it's not broken down as much. Which I think is like interesting, how much of a numbers game the mathematical side of it is contributes to what your lineage is. But yeah, that's all I have for this video. Come out and check out the next.